Hi, my name is Ashley, and I'm a mom of 2 little girls. I have a 5-year-old named Kylie, and I also have a 3-year-old named Mia. So for today's video, we're going to be talking all about a topic that is not only an incredible source of stress and guilt, but can also strike fear into the heart of many parents. So from one busy parent to another, today I would like to share some tips with you on how to respectfully handle your child's separation anxiety in your Montessori home. So separation anxiety can look like a variety of different things. It typically begins in later infancy when you notice suddenly that your baby is now very distraught. They start to cry whenever you leave the room. And then it will often continue on through early toddlerhood. For some kids, they may be over it very quickly. For other kids, it may last all the way up through the preschool years. You never really know because, like I said, every child is different. But what you do need to know is that separation anxiety is completely normal. This is a stage of development that all children will pass through. It is part of their process of individuating themselves from you, from realizing that they are a separate person from you with their own thoughts and feelings and agenda. And it can be a really scary prospect at first, but I can promise you they will eventually get through it. The how of getting through it, though, is the part that parents often struggle with, because separation anxiety often comes with crying, and crying makes us feel very uncomfortable. It's, something that's biologically wired into us when we hear a child crying to want to do something about it, and so it triggers this immense amount of guilt inside of us that we don't quite know how to handle at times. And so it often leads us into this trap of just deciding, well, I'm not gonna go because I know that he's just gonna be way too stressed out while I'm gone. Or putting off errands for later during nap time. Or just deciding that we're not going to take the time to do some self-care, maybe attend a class that we've been wanting to do, or go get some exercise outside of the house. We put all of it off just on the back burner because we're too afraid of our child's reaction. And here's the sticking point with that. This is giving your child way too much power, an uncomfortable amount of power that is not healthy or developmentally appropriate for a young child. Not to mention, they don't want that kind of power. Even though on the surface it may seem that way because you deciding to just stay home helps to make them not cry anymore and everybody seems happy on the surface, what they actually need is for you to be calmly, confidently taking control of these kinds of situations to help them feel secure. At the end of the day, they take our cues from us. So if you're fearful and apprehensive, you can absolutely bet that your child is going to pick up on that. They're going to feel it in your tone of voice and your body language, perhaps your facial expressions, things that you're not even really consciously aware of. They will pick up on it and they're going to mirror that behavior back to you. Those are those lovely mirror neurons at work in your child's brain. So you want to exude calm, cool confidence about this as much as possible. Now, I know there are a lot of parents out there that when they're forced to face their child's turbulent emotions around these moments of separation, their mind immediately jumps to that place of, well, what if they think that I'm abandoning them? And here's what you need to know. It's not abandonment, okay? In fact, it's the complete opposite of that. You're actually creating more security and comfort in your attached relationship with your child by showing them that even though they are experiencing these intense, big feelings, that you are going to come back, that you're not gone forever. Just remember that this is a natural part of their development as they individuate themselves from you as they grow older, and your role is a supportive one. You are there to guide them through this process and to be that rock for them at the end of the day. So now let's get to the practical bit of what this actually sounds like when it's happening right in front of you. Things that you can actually do and say to get you and your child through this process as smoothly as possible, okay? So the thing you need to remember first is that young children are creatures of habit. They thrive on predictability. They like to know what's up. So you want to tell them ahead of time what is going to happen. This way, they're not caught off guard. And to use one of my own recent examples, it can be something as simple as, after breakfast is over, I'm going to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned. While I'm gone, you get to stay here with daddy and have playtime. Like I said, it's important for us to let them know what's going on. This way, they can begin to mentally and emotionally prepare for what's about to happen. Now, when it actually comes time for you to leave, if they begin to get upset, it's important for you to first get down to their eye level and validate validate their feelings. You can say, I hear that you're so sad that I'm leaving. You don't want me to go. It's okay to feel sad. And then you just need to maintain that limit in as positive and confident of a tone as you can possibly muster. You can say something like, you're safe here with daddy and you guys are going to have lots of time to play together. I will come back home as soon as my teeth are all clean. And then you just need to make a quick, confident exit. Maybe give them a kiss and say, I love you. I'll see you again when I get back. And then you leave. The more you kind of linger and draw out the situation, the longer it's going to go on and the harder it's going to be for both you and your child to actually make that separation. So the faster you can make your exit after you've said what you need to say, the better off your child is going to be. Now, assuming you've gotten out the door successfully this time, I know it can still be hard to kind of be left wondering what exactly is going on with your child back at home in your absence. How are they handling it? How is the caregiver responding? And whether that person be your partner or your in-laws or a nanny, whomever, this is something that you can actually talk through with that person ahead of time just to get everybody on the same page. And your primary message to that person should be that their primary role is to just validate your child's feelings and to support them and try to refocus their attention as quickly as they can. So they might say something like, I see you are so sad right now. It's okay to cry. Mommy will be back as soon as she's all done. Why don't we go play with your cars for a little while? Something to help refocus their attention. And again, this person is not trying to distract your child from their feelings. That's not the intent here. We just want to give them something to kind of help shift their attention away from the fact that you're gone. Because if you think about it, that's what we do as adults too. When we have something that we feel is unpleasant that we have to get through, it is often really helpful for us to find something else to just kind of focus on temporarily until we've gotten through that time period. So we're just kind of helping our children to do that. Now, the example that I gave you is one where you're just kind of heading out for a short bit of time on some kind of an errand. But let's say we're talking about a longer separation where your child is going to daycare or school in the morning while you're at work, or maybe they're going for an overnight visit at your in-laws' house, or maybe you're going on an extended business trip and won't be back home for a while. When you know these longer separations are going to happen, it is even more important that you kind of give your child a heads up way in advance. Because again, they're creatures of habit. They like to know what is going to happen. And so you can really help them out in that department by beginning to talk about the event long before it actually arrives. So you can actually talk them through, like kind of in story format, what is going to happen, like tell it to them like a story. You can also read books about the topic, like if it's going to school for the first time. You can even role play with some of their stuffed animals at a completely neutral time, just so that they have a picture in their mind of what is going to go down. And when it comes to starting daycare or school for the first time, it can be even more helpful if you can actually take time to visit the classroom, to meet the teacher, to allow your child to kind of get to know the environment and this new caregiver as much as possible, during that visit, so that they have an idea in their mind, again, a clear picture of what that day, what that separation is going to look like. You might also consider allowing them to bring a special comfort object, whether that be a favorite stuffed animal or a lovey of some kind, if that's permitted wherever they're going. If they want to bring something like that, that is also often really helpful for some children. So then when the actual day arrives, again, you want to walk your child through what is going to happen so that they know what to expect from beginning to end. When you actually get there, you maybe want to connect them to their point person, their primary caregiver, whether that be grandma or a new teacher, whoever it is, but actually make sure that they know who is the person responsible for making sure that they have what they need, that they can go to when they feel like they need something. So for example, saying something like, you'll be safe here with grandma, or right over there, that's your teacher. You can go to her for anything that you need. And then don't forget to also let them know when they can expect to see you again in terms that they can understand. Young kids are not very good with like specific times of day. So you wouldn't say, I'll be back to pick you up at 11:30, because that might not mean anything to them. But if you can find out what their schedule is going to look like and give them a point of reference, for example, I'll be back to pick you up after nap time, that's something that they can latch onto, and that is when they will see you again. And then just as before, in that actual moment of you leaving, if they begin to get upset, you get down to their eye level and you validate those feelings. You say, I hear that you're so scared. It's okay to feel scared. I'll be back to pick you up as soon as nap time is over. I love you and I'll see you soon. And then you make your quick, confident exit. So these are strategies that I use at home with my own 2 children, and I can tell you that they do work as long as you are consistent with it and you exude that calm, cool confidence that your child needs to feel secure. If you're interested in learning more about Montessori at home or positive discipline parenting, then be sure to check out my new book called The Montessori Home: Create a Space for Your Child to Thrive. I also have several e-courses and an online community just for Montessori parents. And if you're looking for one-on-one support, I also offer live video consultations. So I'll be sure to put links to all of those resources in the description box down below for you to check out. If you're new to my channel, then definitely be sure to take a look at my entire Montessori at Home playlist, which aims to provide practical tips and advice for busy parents like you and I for implementing Montessori at home with our children. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in watching more of, then you might consider subscribing to my channel. This way you don't miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.